Hello everyone, Crypto8 here. So like I said, I'm going to try to make a couple of videos describing how the multi-time frame stochastic RSI can be used in order to scalp on lower time frames, because I think it has a large potential in the lower time frames as well, not only at the larger time frames. And actually it can be very helpful when you're doing day trading on smaller time frames. So let us just take an example of something I posted earlier in the group. This is a theta long I posted a couple of hours ago. I think back then it was somewhere here. And I posted we're going to either bounce from here or there. Let me just show you quickly how to do these these subwaves on lower time frames using it. If you are an experienced Elliott wave trader, you don't need that, but it's, as I said, a strong additional tool that you can use, and it can be very beneficial to those who always have trouble with locating the exact bottom and tops of the Elliott waves, because a lot of people keep feeling that Elliott waves are have a lot of relativity to them, but if you know which indicators to use together and what to look for, and if you research Elliott wave trading more and more, you will find that actually it makes a lot of sense, especially if you have something tangible with it. So let us just start here by erasing this, or at least erasing the smaller count, and do this from the start again. So if you remember correctly, we had posted this theta count, this larger time frame count on theta, and sorry, this was supposed to be here. And then this ABC was drawn also, I think, yesterday or before that. And then what I did today is I started zooming in, and I figured since this is a C, we should be seeing 5 waves. And as we explained before, the first thing I do is look at the lows of the stochastic RSI. So this is the start, this is the 1 hour. So there are things that are visible with the price and things that require some help. For example, here it was pretty much visible and it was oversold here as well. Here also it was visible and oversold. And then here you would require a smaller time frame. Like you can see, here is a top, and here you have several bottoms. This is a clear one, but since after this one there are divergences, so you'd look for the one with the most divergence, so with the one with the divergence. So let us just start here. It's hard to recall an Elliott wave that you drew, but let us just start. Yeah, I think it was something like that. Also, see, what enforces this argument is that this is a low on the 4 hour and this is a low. This is a move up, so this is the B and coming down to the C. Whether this is a 3 or actually a full cycle, meaning a 5, is debatable. Let us just zoom in more and see. So definitely this is a 1, 2, and then this looks like 2. Zoom in more. This is some sort of a subwave. Okay, let us start with subwaves. So this is a 1, 2, and this here is supposedly a 3, and this is a 4, and somewhere here was expected to be a 5th wave. So let us go back, because in order for it to be fair you have to see what was visible at the time, not what has happened. So when I believe it was this point when I posted it in the group, and the reasoning for that was, you can see this is the 3 and the 4 is done, and the stochastic RSI is moving downwards, and here all 3 are not at the bottom yet, and neither of the 3 is at the bottom, so it's a 5th subwave in the making. In order to determine where this should have ended, we can simply use the fib extension. In case you haven't noticed, I have turned all of them off. I can turn them back on. I did so to avoid the noise. Okay, so I'm just gonna take them back off. I just wanted to have the 1.618 and the 2.272. So these are 2 potential locations for the end of the 5th wave, which is subwave of the 3rd. So the first thing I thought about, and you can check that back in the group, is that I thought that this was doing a diagonal, and since there are confluences here, that maybe would bounce here. And so when it came to this area, I longed in spot, because this required a loose stop loss, because also Bitcoin was dropping very fast. So, and then this continued down, and it blew right past the entry. Then, oh sorry, no, this is the 30-minute. Yep, believe it was here. This is where my entry was filled. And at that time I was open to the possibility that this is the bounce zone. If not, then this would have been the bounce zone. So I longed, and then it bounced. And for some reason I wasn't confident that this was the bounce, mainly because of Bitcoin, not because of THETA. So I immediately closed with a small profit, and then it came back down to the original entry, and it wicked right past it. This would have been the perfect entry here. It would right past it. I think the 4th wave, I had the 4th wave a bit high, simply because the 2 was shallow. Let's open all these up back. This was roughly the 382, so I expected this to go back to the 0.68. If you're trying to play this conservatively, don't play it to the 0.618, maybe either 382 or 05, even if you know it, that it has a high probability of hitting it. So as you can see, this played out. Let us play it to the last one. So far so good. If you had yours at the 0.382, it would be now close to that. Now looking back and re-evaluating, also using the same tool, we had here the low, which is wave 3, then here back the fourth wave, and as you can see, this drop here is diverging, so this is signaling that it's going to bounce. And at the same time, we have here this green one pointing upwards, and these at the top. Usually these can stay at the top somewhere ranging from this here going down, or even a bit longer like these ones, where it stays for 10 bars, like 5 hours. So you can also always look back and back test it. When you want to think where to exit or where is it reversing, you have to always keep zooming in. This, for example, looks like it can be done in the next 15 or 30 minutes, because if it continues like that, they will reach each other and they will be overbought. So if you're long here, you might think of taking a profit, also because you have here resistance, here another resistance, and already it made like 11%, so it's good so far. So as I said, if you know how to look at it, it can be a very powerful tool. You can always look at smaller time frames, and even, for example, this 3, you can take it apart into into a lower time frame or smaller waves. So, but with smaller time frames, sometimes it's hard to see the proportions, right, of the waves, I mean. And for example, now at the 5 minute, you can see we're having one move up that looks like it's either finished or it can continue. What you can never really tell how long it will continue, but you have to look at the smaller time frames. Like this is already starting to tick down, so there is a possibility of it starting to drop. So definitely this is a place if you're doing if you're day trading and you're looking at very small time frames and want to take profit. Usually you want to take profit while it's high. Also when you're shorting, it's very useful to look at these, because when you look at these and you see the green one at the top and the smaller time frames doing this V shape on the bottom, usually these are entries on very small time frames, long entries I mean. And when you're shorting, you need to be shorting the top, not the bottom, not when it's low. But as I said before, never trade based on the indicator alone. You need your narrative next to it, so it's kind of a confirmation tool. So that's it. I'm going to keep posting examples like these. I have several ones, but I want to make the videos short, so I'm going to try to post shorter videos, each one for a trade or so. So that's it. Okay, thank you for watching and have a nice day.